As we have often noted, no Republican has ever won the White House without winning the Buckeye State, and Donald Trump has spent a lot of time in Ohio. Hillary Clinton, not so much. Fox News chief national correspondent Ed Henry has that story.
Hello, Buckeyes!
It was only 4 years ago this coming week the Buckeye State and its 18 electoral votes were sewn up for Democrats. President Obama campaigning before a raucous crowd of thousands of students at The Ohio State University.
OH! OH!
In contrast, Hillary Clinton, who struggled to fire up millennials, avoided the entire state of Ohio for a month before finally making a return visit Monday. That provided a huge opening for Republican Donald Trump to jump ahead in this key swing state. Trump now leading Clinton there 43.2% to 40.8% in the Real Clear Politics average of polls, and setting off alarm bells among Ohio Democrats.
Well, you know, Al Gore's campaign wrote off Ohio in 2000, and it's one of the many reasons why he lost the presidency. Hillary Clinton cannot afford to write off Ohio, but clearly she's in trouble on the trade issues. But if she's in trouble on trade in Ohio, then she's in trouble in Michigan and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and North Carolina and Florida on trade.
Yet Clinton is not aggressively campaigning in very many of those states at all. Since becoming the nominees, Trump has made 58 trips to battlegrounds, while Clinton has done just 28.
I don't believe she does have the stamina. To be president of this country, you need tremendous stamina.
Clinton fired back at the first debate that she had the stamina to travel to 112 countries as Secretary of State. And her advisors tell us a lot of big rallies do not always translate into victory. Just ask Republican Mitt Romney. Between Labor Day and October 5th of 2012, Romney beat out the president with more campaign events, 27 to 25, but of course he lost the election. Clinton aides also note that taking time off from the trail enabled her to put more focus on debate prep, which paid off in her first face-to-face with Trump. And her campaign manager insists they're still in the running in key states like Ohio because of a superior ground game that will matter more than large Trump events.
We have thousands of volunteers on the ground. We're working very aggressively to make sure that our voters either participate by voting by mail or start voting early in person just about a week from now. And I think it's going to be very close.
While Hillary Clinton is barely going to Ohio herself, she is sending some top surrogates like Senator Elizabeth Warren and Clinton's husband Bill as well. In fact, today, you see from this picture, he went on Twitter to say he went to a barber shop and he took the barber chair for a spin because he did not need an actual haircut. What he did need was to reach out to African-American voters in that barber shop, because Clinton camp believes if they can get strong African-American turnout around Youngstown and Cleveland, they can offset Trump's strong numbers with white voters in those same areas, Brett.
Ed, thank you very much. Good to see you. Now, here to react is our nightly political panel, Rick Klein, political director at ABC News, and A.B. Stoddard, associate editor at Real Clear Politics. Welcome to you both. That number that Ed cited there really jumped out at me. 58 battleground state appearances by Donald Trump and 28 for Hillary Clinton. What about that, A.B.?
I think the fact that she's sort of left Ohio is a huge mistake. And, you know, President Obama was smart enough to sort of leave an operation there between 08 and 12. He lost a whole bunch of, particularly African-American voters, and he registered more than 200,000 new ones in 2012 and barely beat Romney in Ohio. So she should make sure that she has all those people Robbie Mook was talking about if she's not going to be there herself. I think actually taking off time for debate prep is extremely effective. We saw 84 million people watch her take Donald Trump down on Monday night and move the polls. So if she's going to do that again this week and again before the debate on the 19th, I think that's
58 to 28.
But yes, she should be in the battleground states, particularly in those areas that Ed was mentioning, that she could see softening support in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Iowa, Wisconsin, places like that. That she's got to make sure she holds the places where she has a lead, because those leads could be weakening.
Britt, the Clinton campaign will tell you that Donald Trump's playing checkers and they're playing chess. there's a lot that you're not seeing in terms of the strategy right now. Being down to prep for debates, that's one piece of it. Also, the aggressive vote-by-mail voter registration efforts. The Trump campaign needs those big events because they're there signing people up. That's often the first contact they've got with voters. For the Clinton camp, they're working a lot of ways around the edges, and they don't need the big visibility.
That's interesting because I had been of the opinion that Trump sort of thought rallies were all you needed. I gather they're using the rallies for more than just hearing Donald Trump.
That's right, and they are drawing enormous crowds, far bigger than Clinton's crowds on average. You can't, though, reach everybody that way, and that's the flip side of it. Is that
what are they? They're trying to sign people up to vote, but they're also trying to sign people up to help with organizing, voter turnout, and the rest of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No, but it's really late in the game. I mean, you could find diehard Trump supporters at rallies
they've been doing it all
at the end of the summer saying, there's no volunteer office, there's no one to call. I want to help this man win, and there's no infrastructure. So it's happening now, but a lot of it, even in Florida, there was like one office before Labor Day. Now he has 27. But the ground effort on the Trump campaign came very late in the game.
Well, what about just the effect of the style of campaigning that's different? I mean, Trump gets out and he attends these huge rallies. He has this larger-than-life personality. People turn out, I think, in part to see him for the sheer novelty of his candidacy, which even though we've been living with it now for more than a year, or quite a bit more than a year, as a matter of fact, people I think are still turning out to see him. Does that account, do you think, for the striking difference between the size of his crowds and the size of hers?
Yes, he's very exciting, and she's really boring. She was really boring in 08. She hasn't gotten any more exciting. When she gets, she has soft support. His 42% of the country adores him, and they will turn out. Her 44.5%, it's a little soft, and she could easily lose this race because a lot of them won't turn out. The ones that go to the rallies love her, but they don't look like they're having the best time.
Enthusiasm can matter, and we saw the crowds in 2008 for President Obama, then Senator Obama, and you realize there was something genuine going on that ended up winning an election. And you could go back to Bill Clinton and the excitement that he generated. But that isn't the only metric here. That's not the only way to measure this. And I think Donald Trump has packed them in big, and he's dominated news cycles with doing it. Often it is the big show in town when they get these massive rallies, sometimes even in red states. But you need to be doing more than that. And that's where the Clinton campaign feels like they have an edge, that if this is a close race, they have efforts that often we don't see that are going to be a lot more effective than packing them in big at the big rally.